Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight on CBB. We have a very controversial topic to face tonight. Let's get started. Recently, Tom Robinson has come under fire for recent rape accusations. Mayala and her father, Mr. Yago, argue that Mr. Robinson was the one who brutally raped and assaulted his daughter. While Mr. Robinson's lawyer, Mr. Finch, denies any of the accusations of his client, it is still quite unclear what actually went down that tragic night. However, it turns out the court ruled against Mr. Robinson and sentenced him to Maycomb's jail. Later that night, Mr. Robinson tried to escape, and he was pronounced dead by two guards who shot him after an attempted escape. Whether or not he is innocent, that is up to you, the viewer, to decide. Joining us today, we have two guests who are here to voice their opinions. Let's get started. What happened to Mr. Robinson was a very tragic turn of events. That man did no harm to anyone. Mr. Robinson was a kind and helpful soul. I remember one time when I was out trying to fix a door in the Alabama heat. He came to me and offered me a glass of water. I was mighty thirsty. It was one of the most refreshing drinks I have ever had, if I do say so myself. He then put his shoulder on me and said to me in such a calm, relaxing voice, "I'll handle it from here." That is why it came to us a surprise when charges were filed against him. We all knew him as someone we could trust and rely on. I do not think he is to blame for Mayela's assault. As stated in the court, her wounds came from a dominant left-handed user. We all knew Mr. Robinson was not a left-handed. That fact was proven in the courtroom. It pains me to know that there's someone laughing, knowing he got away with his crime. It saddens me even more to know Mr. Robinson was shot 17 times. Did they really have to shoot him that many times? Do they hide so much hate and resentment towards us? I will not claim to know who did it, but I do stand on my claim when I say Mr. Robinson was a victim. Thank you, Brian. Now, on to Ernie's perspective.
Well, you see, I don't feel bad for Tom Robinson at all. As a matter of fact, I think he actually deserved what happened to him. First of all, you're never supposed to lay a finger on anyone, especially a white woman. And he did, so he deserves all the punishment in the world. On top of raping a woman, he decided to break the law again by deciding to run away from jail. I think the prison guard should be rewarded for not allowing a rapist to get back into society and probably go on raping other people. It's sad that people like Tom live in this world, but at least he won't rape anybody no more. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Bernie. The black community will be holding a funeral arrangement at his local church this Sunday. This will be the time for all his brethren to hold a moment of silence. Make sure to bring roses and to pay respects for him and his family. In other news, recently a tragedy has struck the black community. A black male known as Ahmaud Arbery was jogging when he was brutally assaulted and killed by two white males. Joining us is Ahmaud's best friend with his opinions on the whole situation. Ahmaud?
I'm so devastated at what happened to my best friend Ahmaud. It's scary to live in a world where just going for a jog is going to get you killed. Ahmaud was just jogging like he normally does every day when he was brutally attacked by two white men just for being black. Just because he was black, they thought he was a criminal and they chased after him without asking any questions first. It was almost like they hunted Ahmaud. Many other African Americans face this racism today, and it needs to change now. I pray that his death does not go in vain, and that it shows people the struggles and oppression that African Americans still face today in America, for no other reason than just being black. This case reminds me so much of the case of Trayvon Martin in the ways that they were both brutally murdered for just being black. This racism and oppression and just hatred against black people needs to stop. May Ahmaud and Trayvon rest in peace.
Fortunately, Gregor McMitchell and Travis McMitchell, who are responsible for the murder, have now been charged with murder and aggravation assault charges. We send our condolences to the family and wish them a healthy recovery. That's all the time we have for tonight. Join us next week for another episode of CBB.